Hello everyone, my name is Richard Schafer, Field Partner and Advisory Board Member of United Financial Freedom. It's my pleasure to come to you today, and I want to speak about a very important subject related to the financial services professional. Having been in the industry myself for nearly 3 decades in both insurance and securities, but mortgage and real estate as well, it's given me quite a perspective on a day in the life of exactly what that interaction looks like, what that relationship with that client needs to look like and feel like to be successful. I've also been involved in this particular product in this company for nearly a decade and a half. And it's given me a lot of perspective about how this has been able to be so beneficial and helpful to different financial services professionals and their unique needs and experience with their clients. So we're going to open up this segment and talk a little bit about real estate agents. Real estate agents have a very, very unique role. It's both an extraordinary one, but it's also a great challenge. One of the things that a real estate agent does, probably better than most of the other financial services professionals, is that they're very, very good at branding themselves. Now, this can be sometimes a tricky thing, and you're competing with a lot of people in that landscape. So one of the first things that you're looking to do, really not just as a real estate agent, but any professional, any financial professional, is how do you separate yourself from so many other competitors in your space? Not just within your own company, but no doubt within literally dozens or hundreds of other companies around the country. So you want to do a couple things, and I want to break this down into a couple segments. You want to call it before, during, and after. Now, before module is things you do for advertising, marketing, lead generation, and branding, as we alluded to a minute ago. And then, of course, during is how you actually manage the experience with the client. How do they feel about the experience? What gives you that unique relationship with them that makes you stand out, not only to them, but hopefully their friends and family as well down the road? And then after, what does that ongoing communication and relationship look like? Now, one of the challenges that people in the real estate and even the mortgage business as well have, a little bit differently than financial advisors and investment professionals and so forth, is because they're getting paid a smaller percentage of the commission up front and then a lot more of it over a longer period of time. So they have inherently a much more incentivized reason to stay communicated with their clients on a regular basis. Because if they don't, those clients will stop paying insurance premiums or they'll stop putting money into their investment accounts and they don't make any more money. So as a result, inherently, they're a little bit more dialed into that ongoing relationship that they cultivate. In the mortgage and real estate side of things, it's a sale, it's a transaction, it's an event. It doesn't mean that you don't care about the client, but it means inherently you've got to redirect your energy on a regular basis to new clients that, of course, you're able to procure business with and generate income from. And of course, that's not a negative, but it's important to understand how that impacts your relationship. And let me illustrate it this way. If I was to ask you as a real estate professional, whether they've been in business for 6 months or 25 years, if I was to ask you honestly, how many clients at this given moment have you actually serviced in your career? How many do you currently have in your active client base? The fact of the matter is, if you're being honest, most people don't know. In fact, I don't know that I've ever asked somebody that they can tell me that number. And there's a reason for that, because those clients, unfortunately, albeit they hopefully will come back to you at some point in the future, maybe they'll buy another home or they'll provide you a referral if you're fortunate, but you're not making any money on them on a regular basis. So we're going to help change that relationship a little bit more so you can help maximize that relationship. One of the things that real estate agents do that is extremely well is they have a lot more of an intimate relationship. Buying a home is a very emotional experience as opposed to financial services product or even a mortgage transaction. It's much more of a logical, mathematical process. But you have the unique benefit, but challenge, of cultivating a very emotional, very personal, intimate relationship. You spend a lot of time with them one-on-one, getting to know their family, what their needs are, and so forth. And this is a great thing. So one of the powerful things that we can do with our company at United Financial Freedom, and specifically the utilization of the Money Max account, is to help change the conversation between you and all the other competitors in your landscape, right? How do you separate yourself? Now, at any given moment, think about how much money, time, effort, resources, and capital you actually spend on, again, advertising, marketing, lead generation, and branding. And here's the question. How effectively are those actually working? See, the problem is most financial professionals don't know that either because they're deploying multiple different things. So it's difficult for them to ascertain which ones are actually working. But the point is they're actually spending money to do it. What if we could provide you an incredible solution that not only didn't cost you anything to deploy, but would actually generate you significant revenue as a result of it? Give you that competitive advantage over your other peers. Make you more of a trusted advisor. Give you better retention and stickability, if you will, of your current clients. Increase the likelihood that you could get more referrals from those clients. and truly establish that value-added proposition to your clients that make you that expert, renowned professional in your industry. The other issue that happens during that process is that during the phase, it can be a disruptive thing. It can be a complicated thing sometimes, right? You're dealing with a lot of moving parts. You've got people who are doing inspections. You've got appraisals. You've got mortgage people involved. A lot of different moving parts, insurance. And sometimes it's easy to find yourself taking the back seat to that process. If you want to keep yourself at the forefront of those clients, imagine telling clients, especially in the time, we're coming in early 2020 right now, and many people, if you talk to those in our industry, they're starting to say, well, maybe it's not the best time to buy a house. Maybe I should hold off for a period of time. The market's been strong for 10 years. Just have a feeling maybe it's going to pull back sometime soon. And that's a very distinct possibility. But imagine if you could change that conversation. Imagine if you were interacting with a client and they said, well, you know, Rich, I really think I want to buy a house. I just don't know if the timing's right. I think the market might pull back. I might respond by saying, well, I can understand why you'd feel that way. That's exactly why we've deployed a cutting-edge technology platform to help you manage your money more efficiently, literally bank like a bank, and as a result, be able to build equity faster, even in a down or declining market. Think about that, how that would change the conversation you have with your clients over any other real estate agent. And the fact that now, if they could actually build equity faster by eliminating a big percentage of that interest, that would help them do what? Be able to upgrade that house faster, come back to you sooner, shorten that life cycle, if you will. And again, increasing that retention, creating more referrals, because when they're able to do it, they're going to start telling a lot of their friends and family and associates about it. The other little unique wrinkle is now you've got an opportunity that you can help them perhaps develop a real estate portfolio. Imagine if you had a client that instead of having to spend the next 20, 25, 30 years purchasing one home, what if they could turn that into 3, 4, 5 in the same period of time? Who would be more than willing to help them with that process? Certainly you. So there's a lot of ways that you can do that. Now the after process of this module is, what does that ongoing communication look like? That's a tricky part, because there's a lot of other people that come into the business and that enter into their space that are easy to kind of distract them into their direction. Imagine if you gave them almost something like a financial planner in a box that went home with them, and as a result kept you in their consciousness every week that they're utilizing their program. There probably couldn't be any better branding and relationship you could possibly create in that space. And lastly, I want you to think about this. All of those clients, not just is it going to be a better door opener for future clients, which is very important to your business, and of course, strengthen that relationship during the process, completely change that process. They actually know when they have a chance to be totally out of debt, building equity faster. But maybe even the most important of all is having the hope at the end of the tunnel that they're going to be out of debt. So that after phase now gives you the ability to continue to maintain that conversation and be able to further separate yourself from those competitors in a very, very big way. The last thing I want you to consider, particularly for those of you that have been in the industry for a long time, can you genuinely say that you have an exit strategy in place for yourself? I know it's an old cliche, but charity begins at home. You want to do something that's going to help your business. You want to help something that's going to help your clients. But first and foremost, sometimes the one person we forget the most is ourselves. You know, my family grew up in the construction industry, and they used to always say that the last home that a carpenter would work on is his own. And sometimes we're guilty of that ourselves as financial professionals. Get your own house in order. Use it as an opportunity to be able to actually get your home paid off sooner. And develop an exit strategy so you can actually envision a time in the future where you can pull back. And by doing so, by being able to diversify, not distract your efforts. Because the last thing that we need to do, in fact, we're not even suggesting it, is to distract your energy, because your focus is to do what you can to build your brand, attract more clients, close more deals, and be able to make and save more money. So our ability to help you develop that exit strategy, to monetize your energies more efficiently with the same client, and help you do exactly what you're doing, exactly where you're doing it, but just be able to do a lot more of it more successfully and more efficiently. So with that, again, my name is Richard Schafer. We certainly hope this information was helpful to you, and we look forward to seeing you again and wish you great success.